I like Michael Penix. This is one of the things that's difficult during this time of year, because I get hit with, you have Michael Penix as your 34th rated player, but you have him going 13 to the Raiders. How does that make any sense? And I said, okay, well, let's put it this way. If you're the Raiders and you look at your grades on players and, okay, we want to take the best available player, I get all that. But will we all agree that quarterback is the most important position? Yes. Okay, who do we have at the position right now? Okay, when I look and I have Gardner Minshew and I have Aiden O'Connell. Okay, is Michael Penix better than them? Yes. So if I can upgrade at the most important position on the field, I'm okay moving a guy up the board a little bit. They're going to miss out on those other guys. If you're the Raiders, those guys are going to be gone. So this is part of your decision process. And to me, if I have a chance to upgrade with a younger, cheaper model, I'm going to do it.
So he will be donning the uniform of...
I don't know what the heck they're going to do. And they have needs in other areas. They need tackles. They need a tackle, I should say. They need corners. They need some help. In a perfect world, I described it as they would take, get a tackle at 13 and then roll the dice, gamble a little bit, and then maybe try and come back in and grab someone like Penix. I don't think Penix works for everybody. I think Penix works for the Raiders.
Oh, given your point about they need multiple help at multiple positions, the other option, of course, is trading down and taking more players and trying to fill more needs.
Yeah, no, that to me is a very Raider friendly thought. I just don't know who's coming up at that point in time.
Right.
Like usually you're trying to look at who they're trying to get in front of and for what. I would say that there's a little bit of an inflection point when you have the Jaguars at 17, who are pegged as a corner team, and there's a chance you have one of those top two corners could still be hanging around there. Then you could see, Philly needs a corner. They could be maybe, Howie Roseman loves to move around. That could be one where maybe you could convince them to come up to go get a corner. But it's tough to identify them at that spot where they are as an inflection point where teams would feel the need to go up there.
J.J. McCarthy seems like he keeps impressing people, and I keep hearing conversations on different programs and reading things about, he's showing what he could do when he was on the field because Michigan didn't want to throw so much, and so he played a Harbaugh offense, but he's the general, and he can do this and that and the other. Who might have been more impressed with him that they're willing to move up and get him? Where do you think he's going to go? How impressive do you think he has been that he might inspire a team to take him?
Yeah, I think that I call it quarterback alley, 11, 12, 13. You've got Minnesota, you've got Denver, you've got the Raiders. All three of those teams, potential quarterback teams. So that to me is his sweet spot there. And then it becomes back to that conversation which we had, is if you like him, are you willing to gamble and just sit and wait, or do you love him and do you want to ensure that you get him and maybe you have to move up a little bit to make that happen? But he's a challenging. I've kind of used the phrase of an acquired taste with JJ, because he's one of those guys when you're just casually watching games, right? When you're just flipping through games on a Saturday in between, getting some lawn work done, and you're like, okay, Michigan just runs the ball. Like the quarterback doesn't have to do anything. They play great defense. They run the ball, and he just gets to kind of come along for the ride. And then when you start studying him and you just keep going, you've got to watch a lot of tape. And then once you start getting into the cut-ups and watching all the 3rd and 7+ throws where everybody in the stadium knows you have to throw, and you're like, oh, this guy, he can do this. There just weren't the opportunities there for him to do it. And the best way it was explained to me was somebody who was watching tape with him was they were going through and they were watching a game and they got down inside the 20, and JJ was like, well, you can fast forward. And they're like, what do you mean? We're inside the red zone. This is a quarterback. This is what we want to. Like, it's Michigan football. Like we're inside the 20. Like we're there. We're going to run this ball right into the end zone. Like this is not. We didn't have to do that to beat the majority of the teams we played. We practiced it all the time. I was repped for it. I was ready for it in Alabama, and in the big stage when we needed to. I can do it. But why if you don't have to? And I thought that was actually good coaching by Michigan. Like there's not a distrust in JJ. It's just we don't need to do that.
Check out new episodes of What the Football with Suzy Shuster and Amy Trask every Tuesday. Watch us on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page or follow and listen wherever you get your podcasts.